Ridiculous Crime is a production of iHeartRadio.
Hey, Elizabeth.
Hey, Zaron Burnett in the flesh.
Right over here. That's me, the one in the flesh bag. So, hey, I got a question for you. You know what's
Flesh
ridiculous?
Daddy. Yeah, I do know it's ridiculous.
What's that, Flesh Mama?
Well, first, let me just crack open a brew.
Oh. Look at you.
Just a little can of Yoo-hoo.
Keeping it fresh.
Get some warm coconut milk. Clamato.
Is that what that salty smell
It
is?
was the industrial cleaner. Are you familiar? I just had to crack a beverage to talk about this.
I saw that.
Do you know Aldi, the discount?
The store, yeah.
It's a discount grocery store. If you
familiar.
look at their Wikipedia, it says not, at the top, not to be confused with the automaker Audi.
Okay.
For those who don't enunciate. So Aldi, right? Okay, that's ridiculous.
Is that for like below the Mason-Dixon?
That wasn't my ridiculous too.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that great?
It's a double-double.
So Aldi.
Yeah.
Did you know that they have an award-winning Veuve Monsignor champagne?
I'm just going to go, no.
I'm not even saying it right. They have a champagne.
Oh, look at them.
Aldi.
Look at them. Discount champagne.
Discount
Love a nice
Albrecht.
dry brewed discount champagne.
And so, but you know, the reason why I'm telling you this is that they made a special keepsake version of it.
Love a keepsake.
An exclusive
of a discount champagne.
Of a discount champagne.
Yes.
Give me a guess. Why do you think? And they're gonna have it at a store in Manchester.
Is it a waterproof card for a bail bondsman?
No,
because you need
why would they release a special edition discount grocery
I have
champagne?
no idea. I'm just praying this isn't a mashup.
It's $14.98. £14.98.
I have no idea. I don't know the
for
pence
the
from the
Oasis
pounds.
reunion.
Oh,
it's called
snap, for
Supernova
real?
Champagne.
Yes.
And I'm gonna have a sip of Yoo-hoo for that.
The discount champagne in the spirit of Oasis's reunion tour.
And so they're saying they're giving away
mashup.
bottles nationwide via a free free to enter prize draw. I can talk.
Yeah, well,
And so shoppers can get a chance of winning by simply liking and tagging a friend that they'd like to pop open a bottle with on Aldi's Facebook page, because it's the cutting edge for the kids. Well, I don't know, Oasis fans, they're old.
I don't think they're the kids, Elizabeth.
They're on Facebook. That was between the 11th and the 30th of June, so you missed it. But yeah,
gotta start setting notifications.
Did you know that? Okay, so that champagne
Yes.
scooped top industry honors, including the Drinks Business Global Champagne Masters 2025, and Supernova Champagne offers the same premium taste in limited edition packing.
Was the industry like places where you can find gas station champagne?
I called up my pal Julie Ashfield, Chief Commercial Officer at Aldi UK. I was
Please give me the inside. Yeah.
Boop, boop. It doesn't sound. Yeah, that's what it sounds like when you call
there.
boop, boop. She was like, ahoy, hoy. I was like, tell me about this.
Yes.
She said, we're thrilled to launch Supernova Champagne, a special limited edition brand of our award-winning Veuve Monsignor. I don't know if that's how you say it. She said it the right way.
Yeah.
I'm just recounting. We're offering shoppers a unique and memorable way to raise a glass to this iconic moment in music history. Do you think it's actually going to happen? Do you
Of course.
Will the tour fall
an
apart?
optimist.
Is this going to be like a Jane's Addiction thing? Like go to the early shows?
Definitely go to the early shows.
Ooh,
I'm
buddy.
putting money on that.
All right. So,
Although they may need the cash grab and just muscle it out.
are you feeling supersonic?
Oh my
Because
goodness.
then you'd need some of this stuff.
I am over here just a wonder
If you
wall
wanna
of
feel
desire for
supersonic.
the supersonic life.
Don't look back in anger.
No, never.
So anyway, I thought you'd like that.
That's
You
what I heard
told
them
us
say.
the Oasis story that one time.
Yes, I do love them.
We love them.
Yes, they are fun.
And then it allowed me to crack open a can of Coke Zero in here.
And I will admit, I like a couple of their songs. Don't tell anyone I said that.
I love Don't Look Back in Anger, and I love
Yeah.
it sung loudly in public by groups of people at the end of an evening.
Oh, the Scottish tradition?
Yes, and I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. That's ridiculous.
I guess the Brits
I just
also
took
do it.
up
I
a
shouldn't
huge
just-
portion of time to tell you what's
It's
ridiculous.
damn ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
That was like family fun size ridiculous.
It was.
Well, Elizabeth, I got something for you if you got a second.
I
Now that
do.
you got a beverage cracked.
Listen, it's sweating. It's a cold one.
Nice. Use it to chill your cabeza.
I'm just gonna
Relax.
pour it all over my body.
I got a great one. You know, in fact,
You
in
ever
fiction,
put Yoo-hoo in your hair?
Oh, have
Let's
I
try
ever?
it. Let's try.
That's how I used to shampoo from 7 to 9. It was the only way they get me in a bathtub. It's just Yoo-hoo.
And then you had ants all over you all during the day.
They call them my helpers. They kept me clean, Elizabeth. They ate all the crust. Now, in fact and fiction mix, fact's always better than fiction.
Yeah.
Well, I got another storytelling truth for you.
Uh-huh.
It's one that criminals should tell themselves, frankly. I'm looking out for y'all. Okay, here's what it is. If you're on a heist team and you're involved in a crime of the century, your romantic partners are also part of your heist team. You better treat them right.
Whew, yeah.
This is Ridiculous Crime, a podcast about absurd and outrageous capers, heists, and cons. It's always 99% murder-free and 100% ridiculous.
Cheers to that.
Cheers, Elizabeth.
Cheers.
Elizabeth, I got this epic heist for you today.
I think it's hilarious that I'm just drinking.
Oh, yeah, guzzling. I'm enjoying it. I'm actually kind of envious.
I know. But you know what? Carbonated beverages and telling stories.
Oh, I can't wait for like Act 2. You're going to be burping. It's going to be awesome.
Excuse me.
Yeah, one more. Sorry, producer D, can you remove that
I can't wait to crush the can on my forehead.
No, not my forehead. That's an improvement from last time. Okay. Now, you like that show Money Heist, right?
Yeah, the Spanish
language heist show.
Sí, senor.
Yeah, right? Well, buckle up, Buttercup.
How do you say that in Spanish?
I do not know. Seguridad Buttercupa? Yeah. I don't know. So this one is the real deal. The story that the show is based on, right? Only this heist doesn't take place in Spain or anywhere in Europa. It goes down in Argentina.
Oh, really? And this is what they based the show on?
Yeah, you'll hear it. I mean, So what do you know about Argentina?
Don't cry for me.
I mean, other than
just put that down there.
Never
and
cry for you.
And
then there's your unstoppable love of local football legend Lionel Messi.
Sure.
Yeah.
And Buenos Aires.
You love Buenos Aires. Borges.
Huge Borges
That is true.
fan.
That is actually authentic.
I know some people from there. They got like 9 names. It's so awesome.
Is it?
Yeah.
That is
It's
cool.
like Maria Carmen del blah blah. Yeah. It's awesome.
Oh,
I'm
I
jealous.
thought they had like 9 last names.
No. They've got just their names are heck along.
Yes, totally.
I love
Very
it.
cool Latin tradition.
Super
like
is.
you gotta
It really
honor the
is.
family and honor where you're from.
Yeah, I love that.
Well, this brings us to what the Argentines call the heist of the century. Now, Elizabeth, I'd like you to meet the mastermind of this epic heist, Senor Fernando Araujo. He was 52 years old at the time of the heist, and he had this big idea, all right? This was not uncommon for Fernando. He was what his friends would call a free spirit. Yeah, as someone who's been nicknamed a free spirit before, I know what that means. It means he smoked a ton of pot. Now, which he did.
I thought it just meant that he dressed in a boho style.
Yeah, no, that's more boho. We have words for that. When you say call someone a free spirit, it means they smell like weed when they walk by. No. Basically, Fernando, he was a dreamy pothead, right? Yeah. Now, this dude puffed tough. He was also a pot grower. He grew the good stuff in his apartment. Oh. Which may have explained why he painted the windows of his apartment black. Or perhaps it was meant for him to hide from the world. I do not know, Elizabeth. But what I do know... He's
sun-sensitive.
Yeah, very, very could be. Photovoltaically sensitive or photosensitive.
He's photovoltaic.
Yeah, he absorbs light and gives off energy. Now, I do know Fernando was also a nut for martial arts.
Cuckoo for it?
He was a part-time martial arts instructor.
Okay.
And I should point out, he is not the first semi-employed martial arts instructor who's made an appearance on this show.
You?
So maybe keep an eye out on your local martial arts instructors because those dojos are like mattress shops.
Well, and
there's something hinky going down in there.
I love that he's just getting high and kicking.
Yeah, exactly. And I smoke and I kick. Now, anyway, my man, the mastermind, Fernando Araujo, was a peculiar sort. Being semi-employed as he was, he lived according to his desires, his needs, his wants. He ate when he was hungry. He slept when he was tired. He smoked when he wanted to get high. He was a man who lived by his own rules, Elizabeth. His own code, one might say. My kind of guy, right? He read Eastern philosophy. He listened to classical music. He was partial to my man Beethoven.
This is like the Zaron Burnett story.
You see why I'm like this.
Do you have a secret dojo?
No, I cannot kick. No, he loved the genius the most. I mean, the guy loved anything that was like clearly genius. He had a mind, right? Yeah. That was yearning for a challenge. And like many bank robbers who appear on this show, he did his research by watching movies out of Hollywood.
Oh, nice.
Apparently the oeuvre of Michael Mann is like the graduate program for wannabe bank robbers.
He's the papa of all
Apparently. I mean, yeah, because they all mention it. He did the same thing. Now, they may want to watch some other films because they all seem to make appearances on this show, which means something went wrong.
Yes, exactly.
Ridiculously wrong.
Exactly.
So while my man Fernando was getting high, listening to Beethoven's Ninth and like watching Heat for the 58th time, he has his big idea, right? So what was his big idea? Great question, Elizabeth.
That's such a good question, Elizabeth. Oh my God, you're good at this.
You're on fire. Now, is it the drink? Is that what's keeping you fresh?
It's the Coke Zero. It's got me zapping right now.
So what if there was a bank robbery and instead of trying to escape, the bank robbers stayed in the bank?
Oh, we've done
that
those.
Was his big idea, right?
Okay.
So it's like a perfect stoner thought. Like you can hear him being like, you know how you get caught when you try to flee the bank? What if you never left the bank, man? Good luck catching me now, pigs. So
I live in the ceiling.
Exactly. After he sobered up, Fernando was like, wait, that wasn't just a high thought, man. That would totally work. But in Spanish. No, so he went and he told his friend, a compadre he had known since high school, right? He told his friend his big idea. His friend was like, well, you'd eventually have to leave, right? Unless you started living inside the bank. And Fernando thought about that, and he's like, oh, yeah, I see the problems. Good one. Yeah, okay, man. So he came up with the second part of his big idea.
Okay.
He asked his old friend, okay, yeah, man, I thought about it, but like, what if you stayed in the bank, but then eventually you do leave through a hole you cut in the floor? His friend's like, okay, say more. Pass me the joint, and they kept going. Now, the two hash out their big idea. They develop it. Seems like a fun way to kill time, but playing a little game of what if, right?
Oh, yeah, we've all done that.
We've done this tons. But Fernando, it wasn't a game of what if.
No.
He was planning a bank job, right? So he tells his old friend, from high school, his name was Sebastian Garcia Bolster. We'll call him the engineer.
Yeah.
Right? That's like his nickname, his nom de crime.
Okay.
Right? That's his heist team name. So unlike Fernando, Sebastian, a.k.a. the engineer, he wasn't a ne'er-do-well, pot-smoking, semi-employed martial arts instructor.
No.
He had a life. He was an actual law-abiding mechanic. He was also a family man. He was married, had a whole family, the whole bit, right?
He was
Paid
a
his
good
bills.
amigo.
Totally. He was turning a wrench to pay his bills down at his own mechanic shop, right?
Oh, wow. Okay.
He wasn't going to get rich, but it took care of him, his family. But like Fernando, he was also a bit of a dreamer.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, well, this guy...
You know, if you're lucky.
If you are, truly.
Yeah.
No, he liked to draw up plans for a homemade helicopter.
No, it's a dreamer.
Yeah, a real dreamer. Like Leonardo da Vinci level, but just not quite there. The same ideas, right?
He's
like, what if there's a helicopter?
Oh, there's a better world. Or you know what? I should paint that wall.
No,
I'm going to build a helicopter.
myself
Okay.
in my shop. So, yeah, he dreamed of taking literal flights of fancy. So that's why his old friend Fernando thought he might be down for a bit of larceny.
Well, sure, why not?
Right, so Fernando pitches him his full bank job once he's got it developed. He calls it. He's like, okay, I want to brief you on this. I call it the Donatello Project. Right?
Oh my God.
Now, not as in like the Renaissance artist, more as in Donatello from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Stop. Oh, is that because they're going underground?
Boom! You are ahead of the curve.
I'm so smart, you guys.
Yes, this 52-year-old semi-employed pot-smoking martial arts instructor came to his married buddy and told him he had a plan to pull off an epic bank heist, and it was named after a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle for a little joke. And
They
his friend's
should have
like,
named it after
Digamas.
Donatella Versace.
That would have been good.
And they all dress like Janice from the Muppets, and they have straight...
Stringy,
and
the
they
mop
get
hair.
their lips done.
Yeah.
And then no one knows it's them.
Dude. Spot, you should be the mastermind.
I'm a dreamer.
Yeah, well, so you're spot on also about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was the apt metaphor for his sewer project, right?
So
that he's going to
gross.
use this. There's a sewer complex underneath Buenos Aires.
It's one thing to imagine, there's a sewer complex, but like I feel like when you're actually in the sewer, it's not the like cartoon version that you see if it's
no,
big
it's a fetid,
and you can stand
nasty,
there and it's clean.
Get a disease you've never heard of from the water.
Yeah, there's stuff moving.
Total stuff you don't even want to see move is
Dead
down there.
stuff is moving.
And we're in like Buenos Aires, so it's a different set of there's carnivorous turtles.
There are tango
There are
rats.
carnivorous turtles. There's tango rats, Elizabeth.
Yes.
So, mind you, this is 2004. I should have told you that it's
that's
earlier.
a whole different story.
Right,
then.
Exactly. Very different sewer system. No. So 2004. So when he he's pitching this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle idea, there's other stuff in the culture he can draw upon for inspiration. So he tells him, when he's pitching the Donatello project, he tells his old friend, "You will be my Lucius Fox." Now, that may mean nothing to you, Elizabeth. I'm betting it doesn't because you don't watch superhero movies.
No, I do not.
Lucius Fox is the secret weapons manufacturer for Batman.
Huh.
You're going to be my, like, utility belt maker, basically. So he's like, I want a Batarang.
You're my Halliburton.
Yeah. It's like, I want my Batcopter. I want a Batmobile. I want a Batarang. And so he's like, his old friend, this family man, married, once again, also a dreamer, is like, oh, I like that. I want to be Lucius Fox. So
that sounds cool.
But also, though, I should tell you this, he has a personal angle because coming out of the 2001 financial crash in Argentina, which was devastating, and it was a culmination of years, like dating back to the 80s with the dictatorship government before that, and then 1998 with like the financial meltdown, and then finally in 2001 they get taken down. It takes them years to come out of it. So he watched his father and his grandfather lose their nest eggs to the financial mistakes of others, right? As he told GQ magazine, Sebastian thought to himself, I watched my father working all my life, and I saw how the bank stole his money. Well, I went to get it back.
Yes.
Yeah, so he
every
decided,
generation can say that statement.
Right?
I watched the banks
take my father and
take
grandfather's
my family's money.
Totally.
Through no fault of their own. So
they did the right thing.
Get ready. We're going to be saying it soon.
So he decides a bank job will be a fair way to rebalance the scales. But he's adamant about one thing that you'll love.
Okay.
No violence.
I do love that.
I know you do.
I love no violence and logistics.
You're going to love this story.
I should be Lucius Fox.
You really should be. So the bank robbers, they decide to pull off their bank job unarmed. No weapons will be allowed. That's Sebastian, the engineer's insistence. And Fernando, the mastermind, he thinks about this and this last demand. And it seems a bit extreme. He's like, we'll need guns, man. I mean, like, come on. There's advantages to going in armed or unarmed. But he's like, okay, I can see the point. If we go in unarmed, it's practically guaranteed no one gets hurt. So if we do get caught, that's going to look good for us. However, that requires more props and theater to scare the potential hostages.
That's perfect. I love that.
I do love theater.
Yeah.
So they get into it. They agree. No weapons. So this means he now has his engineer. The first members of the team are a lock. So we have Fernando Araujo, the mastermind, his old friend Sebastian Garcia Bolster, a.k.a. the engineer. Smartly, the engineer didn't really trust anyone to do the most important part of his part of the plan, digging the tunnel.
Yeah.
So being a wise man, he knew what that meant. He'd have to do it himself.
Yeah.
You see, these are great guys. I'm loving this. They're like, oh, let me go dig the tunnel myself. The hard part.
Yeah, he's
like,
not
put it
just
on my
barking
shoulders.
orders.
Exactly.
He's leading by example.
Perfect, Elizabeth.
Yeah.
You get it.
I do.
For months, each night, all by himself, he digs a tunnel to the bank. And if you're wondering how he explained his nightly absences to his wife,
sure,
she just chalked it up to he must have a mistress. So,
oh my God.
Yes. So
it's like, don't worry, honey, I'm cheating.
It's fine. It's cool.
I'm cheating with Mother Earth.
So digging holes, baby. Plowing that earth.
Digging into Mother Earth.
So digging a tunnel is no easy feat, as you know, and he was not an experienced tunneler, and digging being hard work. Secondly, if you dig a tunnel and aren't meticulous, you can easily miss your target.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So the engineer, he has a plan for all this. So he drove down to the beach. That's where the city's sewer system is. And it dumps into like the Rio de la Plata, right? So that's where it empties out. He goes down to the exit and he enters there, sneaks in, and he starts wading through the sewers and figuring out what he'll have to do, if he needs to dam stuff, what sewers. He plots a map, basically, right? And so, totally nasty, terrible water. And he decides they'll plan to dig a tunnel under the bank that connects to a specific manhole cover in the street above.
Oh,
that's the key.
smart.
So for months, each night, armed with a hydraulic drill, the engineer sneaks in, hikes for a half an hour into the water, the stink, the muck. Then he gets to work, drilling, chiseling into the earth. Then in the morning, wakes up and goes back to work as a mechanic.
This man.
To ensure their tunnel was progressing on the right path, the mastermind, he used a bicycle. Elizabeth, what's my favorite mathematical shape?
The circle.
A right triangle. Good guess, though. They're my two favorites, circle and a triangle.
What's your third favorite shape?
So he uses my favorite mathematical shape to do the Pythagorean theorem.
Oh, stop.
And he uses a bicycle to measure the distance he'll need to dig. So they calculate.
This is a story about you.
I'm telling you, I love these guys. So he calculates the length of the side A and the B side of the triangle. He calculates the distance from the manhole cover in the street above to the floor of the canal below, right? That was the height of the triangle. So it's going to go straight down. The distance of the tunnel traveled to the exterior wall of the bank would be the horizontal. So we have like going straight down from the street and then to the tunnel, right? And then he has to know because he's doing an angle that will be the hypotenuse. The tunnel is going to be climbing. He's like, okay, how do we figure that out? He rigs up a weight and a string and drops it into the sewer. That tells him the height. Then he climbs onto his bike and he uses his bike to this brilliant effect. In order to measure the distance, walking around late at night, he measures his bike tire first. And then, just like a land surveyor, he walks the distance.
Oh, yeah.
And he uses his bike to measure the distance.
It's like cover.
Every time his air valve came around, he counted one rotation. After 37 and a half rotations, he has his answer.
He
really takes his calculations, does the math. They come up with the answer. His tunnel needs to be 185 feet long with a 69-degree angle. Nice.
Somewhere there's like a, what year is it when you learn the Pythagoras? Like 5th grade?
Something like that. Yeah, I don't know. We'll say it is. Yeah.
There's like a math teacher who's just like, yes.
Yeah, it's like,
see,
boom.
I told you. I'm never going to need. Yes, you are. Yeah. You are going to need this.
One day when you try to break into a bank in Buenos Aires.
Exactly. A squared plus B squared equals C squared, you guys.
Now that we have all the particulars and the math in place,
yes,
let's take a little break.
Okay.
And after these messages, we're going to bust into this bank.
Oh, you better believe it.
Oh, Elizabeth.
Oh, Zaron.
We're back.
Yeah, we are.
You enjoying your time in Buenos Aires?
Oh, I love it.
Nice.
I never want to leave.
Well, now that our mastermind, Fernando, is mostly ready, he needs to bring in the rest of the team. So the two old friends.
Do you think, I'm sorry, but is it Sebastian as the amigo?
Yeah, he's the engineer, Sebastian.
Do you think that when he comes home and his wife thinks...
Stinking of sewer.
He's coming home from his mistress.
Who
she's
just apparently...
like, who is this?
She's into some weird kinky stuff.
Swamp beast. And then it really affects her self-esteem because she's like,
why is he
stepping out with the swamp beast who's like got crotch rot and it smells so bad in here?
Like, I will defecate on you if that's what the problem is.
Do you want me to stop showering?
If it keeps you home with the children, I will soil you, son.
Like, she just sits there crying, like eyes closed, turned away from him because she's like, doesn't understand. If he were truthful, no. Anyway.
So, yes.
I've been thinking a lot about that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So the two old friends, right? They're like, okay, we're going to
What does the swamp beast have that I don't have? Sorry, go ahead.
They need to pick a team of, they imagine 7 guys, right? There are 2 of the 7. So they need 5 more guys that they can trust.
Oh.
That'll be key.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah.
Can you think right now of like 6? Okay, you would have an engineer.
Sure.
Can you think of 5 other dudes that you would bring into a heist that you
trust in my life? And I do. I unfortunately I know people like that.
I don't,
and I keep a list in my head already. So yes, I have a heist team ready to go in my mind at this point.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, I kind of roll like that, Elizabeth.
Yeah, I figured.
Like if any one of them comes to me, they have like hey Z, we got to do this one last job. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to explain this.
It'd be like me, Sarah T, and my dogs.
Keep it tight. I like that.
Yeah,
fewer the better.
We're a precise team.
Yeah, you guys operate close inside. I like that. We do. You don't need much. You don't need like an external distractions and all that other stuff.
Get it done.
You get in close, you get it done.
Mm-hmm.
Now these guys, they need 5 guys that they can trust with their lives and their futures, obviously.
Yeah.
And if they can do that, a fortune awaits them all.
Amazing.
The mastermind and the engineer, they drafted their team 2 veteran bank robbers. One named Ruben Alberto de la Torre, a.k.a. Beto, and his partner known as Doc.
Okay.
Yeah, so what's up, Doc? Back in the 80s and 90s, these 2 had been in the same bank robbery heist gang that was nicknamed on the streets Super Banda. Yeah,
Love
Super
it.
Banda. So the gang made their name in the underworld starting back in the 80s with a series of just brazen daytime bank jobs, like real robberies, like break in, hands in the air, we're taking this stuff, but in Spanish. And in the 90s, they graduated to shootouts with the police.
Oh.
Yeah, because they're like keeping up with the gangster. Everybody's like, oh, hey, man, I've been listening to NWA. I know what happens now. So that caught them real heat, right? And after some busts and some time behind bars, the pair were out again and now looking for some action in 2004.
I would not hire a heist crew that's done time.
No, you have to.
You've screwed up before.
No, that's
I
not the way
want
you look
ones
at
who've
it.
never been caught.
Sure, that's the ideal, but I mean, like, if you also want a couple experienced men, which means they're gonna be busted. We differ there, I guess.
We do differ there.
Yeah, I mean, I understand your thinking. I think that's really.
I want only pros. I want top shelf cuties. I want only.
But then how do you know they really are who they say they
I
are?
want 100% ranking.
How do you know they are who they really say they are? One thing about being in prison is somebody can vouch for them.
Because they let me do a ride along and I watched them do it.
You see them like, I want to see you
They
do a
auditioned.
job, then you can be on my team.
They auditioned
there
for me.
There you go.
Yep.
Okay, you're like Drewski. You're like, oh, audition for me, then you can jump in.
Yes, I don't even know what that means, but yes.
So at this point, the heist crew is 4 people, right?
Okay.
And they round out their heist team. They bring in another cat named Julian Zalochevarria and this mystery man named Luis the Uruguayan.
Luis, and he wears like a mask.
Oh, that's the only thing we know him as is Luis the Uruguayan.
Every one of these crews has like one loose cannon weirdo.
Totally, you got to.
Nobody's really sure where he came from. I don't have his phone number.
No one knows his last name.
Yeah,
he
like
probably doesn't have a last name anymore.
He's like 93 years old.
Totally, but he looks 47.
Yes, exactly.
He can do backflips. So now that they have their team in place, the heist team needs funds to finance the list of items that they'll need for their heist. Because, you're going to need a powerful lance and a thermal jack. Oh, wait, I got that backwards. A thermal lance, a powerful jack.
Powerful jack.
Boom.
It takes money to make money.
But you know how it goes.
Yep.
So Fernando, the mastermind, he sells his car. But that only gets him $5,000, and that's quickly spent. So they're like, we're going to need more than that.
He's got that bike.
Yeah, and he's like, well, I can probably sell some more pot. And they're like, we're going to need more than that. We're going to need a backer. And he's like, okay. Somebody, one of the guys knows somebody. He's
Jeff
like,
Bezos.
I know, I got a money man. I know a guy. They're like, really? He's like, oh yeah. And also, he's not just a money man. He's a veteran bank robber. They're like, oh, snap, son. Perfect. He'll understand what we're doing.
Circle of life.
Yeah.
He's going to reinvest his money.
Exactly. Doc's like, I know a guy, right? The perfect guy. So he's this thief from Uruguay, another guy from Uruguay. Mm-hmm. His name was Luis Mario Vitete Sellanes. And back in the heyday, working as a thief and a cat burglar in Argentina, his nom de crime was the Spider-Man of Buenos Aires.
Oh, wow. So
another Spider-Man.
Yeah, they're
exactly.
all over.
So it's a common nickname. If you're clutching to the sides of buildings, cat burglar, people are like, I only know one metaphor.
That's Spider-Man.
That's the Spider-Man.
That's Spider-Man DDS.
So back in the 90s, early aughts, this is when this guy is operating. Now it's 2004. He's pretty much retired. He's not as thin as he once was, as he points out. And this is also the result of all the coke he was doing at the time that he's no longer doing.
That coke bloat?
Yeah, he's got his life somewhat in order. He's still, I don't know.
Okay.
He was heading that direction.
But he didn't get caught.
No, he'd gotten caught, done his time inside, and now had mostly been laying low, avoiding any new crimes.
I see.
That might put him back behind bars. But here was the score of a lifetime, Elizabeth, and he is the Spider-Man of Buenos Aires.
One last score.
Pulls him in.
He's every time.
As he put it, once a thief, always a thief.
Yeah, I guess so.
Which is true. I mean, it's kind of like once you cross that line, you're like, I can always stay on this side.
Yeah, exactly.
So after he's approached, they tell him the audacious heist plan. He thinks about it a piece, and he's like, I'm down. So now they got a real vet on the crew. He offers the crew 100 large as financial backing.
$100?
$100, Elizabeth. $100,000. And now the heist team, they're rolling. They can get all of their powerful lances and thermal jacks.
Sure.
I don't know why that kills me. So the engineer, he gets to work on problem solving the particulars of his planned heist. So the plan calls for breaking open safe deposit boxes. I mean, we've talked about this numerous times. It's the challenge. How do you break them open? You only have so much time. And you've told numerous stories of bank heists where they focus on the safe deposit boxes.
Yeah, some of them are precise.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are just, they go in and wreck shop.
Just big pry bars.
Yeah, or they just blow it up or whatever. Yeah, there are a lot of ways to do it. And each of those boxes seems to be different.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. So the engineer is having none of it. He's like, you know what? I don't want a powerful jack and a thermal lance. That's what they do over in the UK. I need to know what we're working with here. So he takes a trip to the bank. They pretend to be interested in renting a security box. He takes notes on the model and the maker of the security deposit box. Then they contact the security deposit box maker and they order some boxes of their own.
Oh, stop.
And then he practices his methods on the exact model he'll be breaking into.
That's not suspicious. Like, I'm just a civilian going to order 3.
I need like 6 boxes.
Safe deposit boxes.
Yeah.
What do you have, a bank?
No. I like practicing.
Do you need us to come install them? No.
I'm a metal worker.
Good. Good, thank you.
But it felt like an Elizabeth-style answer to me. For me, I'm like, dynamite, which is not a good answer. Like his answer is like, get some boxes, practice on them, see what works.
That's pretty smart.
Because my idea, dynamite, noisy, right?
Yeah.
Dangerous. You can blow things up like your people.
And the stuff you're trying to steal.
Totally. And then there's the issue of smoke in a confined area.
That too. Oh, and you'd lose your hearing.
Oh, my God. And hearing, I had bad tinnitus. So also, then if you try like, the other idea, I'll get a blowtorch. Now you risk the buildup of toxic fumes in a confined space. So dynamite, blowtorch,
microplastics,
both out. So what's the engineer's answer?
Endocrine disruptors.
Totally a problem. I mean, we should always be thinking about endocrine disruptors.
Please.
Who are going to think about tomorrow's boys and their endocrine disruption?
Yes, no one.
Because
no
of crime being done in banks.
No one thinks of that.
No, not but you, Elizabeth.
I do.
You think about the future.
I'm the only one who cares anymore.
So, what's the engineer's answer? Great question, Elizabeth.
Thank you. Good job.
He went with a jackhammer. But not like a jackhammer you think like the guy in the street like going blah 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 blah. Like he went with a smaller version. Like, and think of it more like a cattle prod. You know, like a cattle prod will shoot a bar, like the ones where they put cows down with. The jackhammer he selected could be used to punch out a lock, just like in like No Country for Old Men.
So it was somewhere
like
between.
How Anton Churga has that gun and goes tunk.
Friendo.
Yeah.
So it was somewhere between that and like a Nerf gun,
basically.
But like powerful.
So he's got his jackhammer, Nerf gun, cattle prod gun, and
like a baby jackhammer.
Remember, he's a mechanic, so he takes it apart and he breaks it down to its smallest pieces, so it won't be cumbersome to carry it in the slippery sewer tunnels, and then you can remake it inside once you're in the bank. And so he's got this modular jack, and he calls it the power cannon.
Power cannon.
So then,
I love this.
I thought you would. Next question they have to deal with: the alarm system. How are they going to get around the alarm system? None of them are good with electronics. So don't worry, Elizabeth. Though my man, the mastermind, he got a plan for that. Bank alarms are set when a bank is closed over the weekends, right? We all know this. And then it's closed at the end of the business day and turned off at the beginning of the business day. But bank alarms are not armed when the bank is open and doing business.
True.
That's when they'd strike.
I like it. Right? That's logical.
Boom. So to minimize police response, they'll need a distraction, right? Because remember, they need some theater, some drama. So the mastermind got a plan for that. They'll stage a second robbery as a diversion.
No.
Yeah. If it all works out as he plans, Fernando the mastermind estimated they could pull about $60 million from this job.
Wow.
Yeah. But with a score that big, though, there's another problem. Because that's a lot of stuff, a lot of physical stuff to move.
Yeah, the mass of it.
How do they get it all out?
Say
they're lucky enough to get all the way in. They break through. The power cannon works.
Somehow people don't hear the power cannon while it's getting held up.
Totally. Now they got to get out. How do they get out? Remember, their plan is like a hole in the bank. Somewhere we put a hole. That's the plan. So the mastermind, he's like, I got this covered, guys. Inflatable Zodiac boats.
Love a good Zodiac.
They'll drop them in the sewer tunnel and then zoom to their escape.
Stick an Evan Root on that puppy.
Exactly. You know it. Vroom, vroom. So that meant they would need to also ensure the water level in the sewer was high enough to operate their Zodiac, because the water level rises and falls and contingent on storms and so forth.
Sure.
So they could reasonably count on storm waters, but they didn't want to reasonably count on anything. He didn't want to leave anything to chance. So especially with all that weight loading it down. I mean, what if they got lucky and they got a real haul and there's like only a couple inches of water? That could be a real problem.
Sure.
So engineer's like, I got this one. He's got a solution. What's his solution, Elizabeth?
Tell me.
If you want to raise the water level, you build a dam. So he's like, I'll build a dam. So that's what they did.
Control,
But he's like, we can't build it where they'll find it. So he builds a modular dam, just like the power cannon. You can bring it in, set it up in pieces, put it together.
I thought he was
boom.
just going to like call everyone in the phone book and be like, 3, 2, 1, flush.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Like a New York story.
Yeah.
This one, his dam, quickly constructed in the sewer. He goes, it'll be arranged just in the days prior to the robbery so they can get the water level up. Boom, problem solved. Now that's all that's left to do is rob the bank. So the date they pick is January 13th, 2006.
Okay.
It's a work day, a Friday.
Friday the 13th.
Which made it the 13th day of the year, Friday the 13th.
Ooh, buddy.
Yeah, that morning, the heist crew went through their well-practiced moves. A few members of the heist crew had met at a coffee bar. They passed around a tube of super glue, and they took turns gluing over their fingerprints, and so their tips were smooth and would leave no fingerprints behind.
Smart.
After that, they loaded up into 3 stolen cars taken that same morning, so no reports yet.
Okay.
Julian Zalachevarria, he's the getaway driver. He drove to the appointed exit spot, gets into position. station. The engineer drives to the Peru beach, which is at the end of the sewer system. He hikes through the stink and the fetid, filthy water, and he tests his luck on the slippery, slimy surfaces, but he's really careful. He makes his way judiciously into the tunnel, makes it to the bank.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the rest of the heist crew, they enter the bank. First to the door is Ruben Alberto de la Torre, a.k.a. Beto. Now, he's wearing a white lab coat, dressed as a doctor on his way to work. Very disarming. Second through the door was Doc, who was not dressed as a doctor. Instead, he was dressed as a bank robber. He was walked in wearing a balaclava face mask. And when Beto saw Doc enter, he pulls on his ski mask and pulls out a pistol. And he let everyone see his gun and he announces, "This is a robbery." Now, why he walked in as a doctor only to pull on the face mask?
You know, he's like me. He likes a good costume, likes a
think
good
so.
wig.
He wanted it just for the walk in, I think. That was maybe, I don't know.
He had his whole backstory crafted.
You know it. So the engineer insisted that his gun was not real. Remember that. So Beto had taken a toy gun from his 9-year-old son earlier that same morning. He's like, okay, this is my gun. So around that same time, Luis the Uruguayan and the former Spider-Man of Buenos Aires, Luis Vitete, a.k.a. the man who's later known as the man in the gray suit.
Okay.
They drive into the parking lot beneath the bank. Now, their job is to bring in all the heavy tools, the jackhammer, a.k.a. the power cannon.
Yeah.
Then the pairs, they shut the door to the parking garage, they lock it behind them, and then they back the car up and block the door so nobody can ram in.
Sure.
So now they got the tools in, back door secured, they bound upstairs. They join in on the robbery already under progress.
Fun.
So outside the bank, Fernando, the mastermind, he parks his stolen car in front of the bank. He pops on the emergency lights, lets them flash like, I'm parking here.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for my wife or whatever, you know. And in the back seat, there are oil cans for an oil slick and then strips of nails to puncture tires for cop cars for any high-speed pursuit.
They're so Inspector Gadget.
Totally. Now, he never plans on using any of these measures. This is all theater. They are purely to confuse the cops. The car is a dummy car.
No.
Yes, to give them the sketches of a story that will make sense to them when they see it.
Sure.
They see the car parked out front and assume that's the getaway car, and now they've got them stuck.
And they're like, a doctor's involved somehow.
Exactly.
Case the hospitals.
So once they have the setup going, Fernando, the mastermind, he walks confidently into the bank. Now they lock the front door. Everything's going according to plan. Heist is rolling like it's floating on German ball bearings. BB's Elizabeth.
BB.
So Fernando, once he's in the bank, he walks in wearing a blonde wig and a ski mask pulled over the wig and a ball cap on top of the ski mask.
I love this.
Right? Layers on layers on layers.
He's in character.
Yeah,
Let him
his style
run.
is subterfuge. That's his style. So apparently they hadn't shown each other their robbery fits because when the mastermind walks in, one of the other bank robbers assumes he's a customer, puts a gun to his head, tells him, this is a robbery, man. And the mastermind's like, Beto, it's me.
He's like, I didn't know you were a blonde.
Exactly. Now, Elizabeth, at this point, you'll be able to follow the developments because it's essentially the plot of the bank robbery from the show Money Heist.
Yeah.
There's the charming police negotiator, the presumptive team leader, Luis Vitete, a.k.a. the man in the gray suit.
Yeah.
He's the one, and there's also Luis the Uruguayan and Beto. They're on crowd control. So you remember those guys from the show? That leaves Doc to go downstairs and let the engineer into the bank from the tunnel. So he's like, they're the heist team, like the real core team.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like there was a door. There was a wall when he gets down there. And on the other side was the end of the tunnel that he had drilled right up within a couple inches.
Okay.
So now they have to break down while the engineer waits.
Like Kool-Aid Man style.
Totally. Doc basically hammers it through and then he thins the wall from the other side of the tunnel and boom, engineer is led into the bank. So now the team, save for our getaway driver, they were all in the bank doing their pre-assigned roles. Now it's time to bring the police in to play their pre-assigned role.
Oh, man.
The call to the cops come in at around 12:30 on the fateful Friday the 13th in January.
Oof.
A bank robbery is going down in San Isidro, which the cops know is a wealthy suburb of Buenos Aires. So they're like, oh, we better rush there.
Sure.
So it's just to the north of the city. And so the bank is this 2-story building with a parking garage underneath. And so when the police arrive, the robbers have yet to flee. I mean, their car is right out in front with the lights flashing.
Yeah.
So boom, they're caught inside. So Vitete, the man in the gray suit, he's tasked with negotiating with the police. He throws himself into the role. He loves it, just like the guy in Money Heist.
Yeah.
He's a bigger-than-life character. For his disguise, he wore a gray suit. He wanted to be a businessman. To top it off, he had a big fake mustache. And on top of that, a yarmulke.
Why not?
Why not? You know, so you got
Why
big,
not?
big mustache, yarmulke, and a gray suit.
Just
quite the look. It's like if David
kitchen
Byrne
sink.
and Frank Zappa had a devout Jewish love child. So meanwhile, the police do what they do best. They follow their official bank robbery playbook. They establish a perimeter. They create a command center. They arrange snipers in case they can get a clean shot. And at this point, Vitete, the man in the gray suit, takes over the show. He becomes Walter, the man in the gray suit. And he's talking to the police. He's like teasing them. He's flirting with them. He's doing it all, right? And there's TV cameras now arriving, so he's playing to them.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's making sure the cops have good quotes. And it's just, the guy is hamming it up, right? But he also, at the same time, is acting like their bank robbery plans have gone south, and he now must negotiate his way out of bloodshed because they caught them with their car parked out front. You've got our getaway car.
Oh, our pants
We've got
are down.
hostages. Yeah. So to give the cops some proof that we're good people, as he put it, he lets the security guard go. He's like, look, take care of the security guard. This show of good faith, it works to buy the bank robbers time, and it earns the police trust. But to the heist crew, this move was a major coup because now they've removed the only real gun in the bank.
Right.
Right? So now the rest are all toys. So, and none of the hostages know
Yeah.
that. But the bank robbers do. So the security guard reaches the police. He tells them what he knows. He's like, okay, there's a guy in there with a big mustache, a yarmulke. He's in charge. And they're like, what? And there's another guy. He's a doctor, and he joined the heist team, I think. And he's also there. They have guns. They're well armed, but they're very calm. But their robbery's botched. So, there's a lot of hostages. Who knows what will happen? The police are like, oh, darn, this is not good. This is exactly what we don't want. Well-armed, scared people who make no sense to us.
Right.
So 10 minutes later, some police negotiations go on between the man in the gray suit. He releases a second hostage, another show of good faith, and then a third hostage, and then a fourth hostage. He's just popping people out, right? This is all very intentional. The mastermind figures that the police will think that they were doing well. They're making progress. They're saving people one at a time. And this will also lower their guard and make them overconfident. It would also buy the bank robbers the time they need as the police negotiate for yet another hostage to be released. And just like in Money Heist, the real-life mastermind, he wanted to play into the tendencies, the biases of the police. So to make them feel superior and these robbers as inferior and idiots. So as he told his heist team, the goal was, quote, we must look nervous and stupid, like we're losing control. I mean, that's like pretty much dialogue from Money Heist, right?
Yeah.
So this stratagem is intended to play out before the mini TV crews whose cameras are aimed at the bank. So to the cameras, what they're doing, releasing hostages, tells a different story. It's not that they are, good faith or not. It shows that they're compassionate.
Yeah.
So this wins them viewers back home, like faith in them, and then they start becoming these folk heroes. And also they want to save innocent people from possible violence. They look like the good guys. The cops are the violent ones. Like, we know the cops are going to break in, so we're going to release people, but we have to hold some, Yeah. So all the real everyday Argentines, they fall for them. They are like, as the mastermind says, they must have sympathy for us. And boom, it works. So now the freed hostages is playing out in real time. And at this point, the standoff has lasted 6 hours. There's now 23 hostages inside the bank with the 5 armed bank robbers. The man in the gray suit is still holding court with the police, negotiating both the release of more hostages, but also the eventual surrender of the bank. He's telling them, this will be yours. We just have to calm everything down. Police are thrilled. They're like, okay, good. And in the meantime, the man in the gray suit, he's like, hey, we're kind of hungry, though. Could you, order a mess of pizzas, have them delivered to the bank? We'll send somebody out. And, the hostages, they're getting hungry. We want to look out for them. Police are like, oh, of course. They agree. The pizzas are ordered. Then the police, they call back. They're like, hey, pizzas, they're on their way. No response. The police, there's no one in the bank. They're answering the phone. So they call back. They're like, hey, the pizzas are here. Send a guy out. No response. The police snipers, they see nothing. TV cameras see nothing. The police in the command centers, they're confused. What has happened to the bank robbers?
It's a very good question.
Did they panic and just kill the hostages and then themselves in some kind of weird psycho killer thing?
Sure.
Why are they suddenly silent? With pizza on the way.
Yeah,
the pizza's here. Who doesn't love pizza?
Get out here.
Well, since the cops are confused, that's where I'm going to leave you, Elizabeth, while we take a break. And after this raft of messages, we'll be back to sort out truth from fiction and figure out what happened to the disappearing bank heist crew.
I love this.
We're back, Elizabeth.
Yeah, we are.
You ready to hear how this one plays out?
Yes.
So where were we?
They brought pizza in. No one was answering.
That's right. Police are
That's
arrayed outside.
frustrating.
Snipers in position. Hostages released.
Pizza's getting cold.
Pizza's getting cold.
No one's paid the pizza guy.
Delivery guys waiting around for a tip.
Oh, yeah.
And they got no response. So, what's happening inside? Well, Vitete, a.k.a. the man in the gray suit, the police negotiator, he tells the hostages just before the pizza's on its way. The pizza's on its way. I need you guys to go get into, we're going to have a little meeting. And then we're going to move you guys. But first, we're going to have a meeting. So you guys chill. We'll move you in a second. And then we'll have the pizza brought in. They're like, okay, thinking about the pizza.
He's like raising their hand. Do we get any of the pizza?
Yeah, they're like, no, the pizza's for y'all, right? And he's like, but by the way, if any of you hostages move while I'm away talking to my guys, I'll execute all of you, right? I'll shoot that person. I'll just keep shooting until, they're like, okay, we get it. Pizza or bullets? Oh, we'll take pizza. So that keeps the hostages in check, right? Now, meanwhile, at this point, it's about 3:30 in the afternoon, right? So the hostages, they have to be actually really hungry, and they're hoping they can live through this. So they're happy to do as they're told. Elizabeth, I also have to tell you the truth. Just like in Money Heist, there was no meeting. It was a fake. They were faking out the hostages, just like the fake guns. It's all part of their plan.
Yeah.
The engineer had been given 2 hours by the mastermind to clear as many security deposit boxes as he could. After 90 minutes of punching open boxes with his handmade power cannon, the riches are stacking up, right? And Fernando has given the signal, bag it up, let's start our escape.
Whoa.
Right? And they're diligent. They have real responsibility to the plan. The engineer nods, begins to disassemble his power cannon.
Yeah.
The others bag up their booty. They lower the bags down to Luis the Uruguayan, who's in the sewer balancing on one of the Zodiac boats, right? And they've got like a pulley system arranged, so they're just lowering it down.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, once the power cannon is disassembled, the engineer, he starts assembling a few bombs to leave behind.
Oh, whoa.
The bombs are fake. Another time-consuming distraction for the police. They'll have to bring in the bombs and then clear the building.
Oh, that is smart.
So then they clean up. They sweep up, and they bleach everything down, and then they join the others in the sewer. So now Doc and the mastermind, after they spray the bleach to ruin any forensic evidence they might leave behind, any stray DNA, they pop open bags of hair that they've collected from a local barbershop floor. And they dust the area with misleading hair. Isn't that a genius touch?
That is super genius, except for if you're the guy who got his haircut.
Yeah, truly, yeah. And you got a record, and they just come around, you're just like...
Or they start using familial DNA.
Yeah.
And so it's like your uncle did the 23andMe, and all of a sudden now they got you. They got you, and you just wanted a haircut.
I just wanted a high and tight. What's wrong? So lastly, now at this point, they clean up the basement, they sweep up there, and up to where the hole was cut for the tunnel, and this is cut in the wall, right? They didn't cut down, they cut into the wall. So they pull a heavy cabinet unit and they obscure the hole in the wall, and they've swept up. So now you wouldn't know there was a bank robbery, because you wouldn't find that hole in the wall unless you knew there was a bank robbery and you needed to move that cabinet to possibly. Otherwise,
so it's not a huge hole.
It could be years before you notice that there was this hole. And so at this point, it's time to flee. The mastermind considered what the police response would be. Remember, he's got a plan for everything. He calculated that the police figured out that the bank robbers have escaped into the tunnels. Naturally, they'll flee to the end of the tunnels, out to Peru Beach. So he does the opposite. He has the heist crew flee on Zodiac boats into the city sewer system, deeper into the city.
Oh.
Right? That's the plan. So do you think it worked?
Sure. Well, no, you're telling me the story, so...
Rather than answer that, Elizabeth, I'd like you to close your eyes.
My eyes are closed.
And I'd like you to picture it. It's Friday the 13th, January 2006, and you, Elizabeth, are enjoying the peace and quiet of the Buenos Aires sewer system. This may sound odd, but when you consider the fact that you, Elizabeth, are an Argentine horned frog, it's not that odd. AKA the Pac-Man frog, nicknamed for your huge head and ever-hungry mouth. Your method of feeding is to stay deathly still, unmoving, like a statue of a frog, until you spy food flying above or floating past, and then you strike with the speed of a lightning flash. At the moment, you're standing dead still, as you do, because you're hungry. You're eagerly waiting for some insect to go winging past, and that's when you hear it, a splashing sound. You turn your enormous head to see what the noise is all about. That's when you spot them. 5 men take turns climbing down a ladder and dropping into a pair of waiting Zodiac boats, floating there in the still and the dark of the sewers. You never expect to see that. You take stock of the situation. You're wondering if you'll need to flee or if they might scare up some lunch with all their activity. You decide to wait and watch. The 5 men speak in hushed tones. They move quickly, efficiently. They load bags of stolen loot into the second of the Zodiac. It seems to act as a trailer. One man stands organizing the action. But sadly, the men scare up no flies or other winged lunch for you. Instead, they pile heavy bags of loot. And when they're done, one of the men yanks on the engine's pull cord. Yank! Nothing. He yanks the cord again. Yank! Again, nothing. The man yanks hard again. Yank! Still nothing. And again, yank! Nothing. The boat motor is now flooded. This is when you really get hopeful for a free lunch because you watch the standing man, the one ordering the others. He seems prepared for this boat motor failure. He has a plan for it. He calmly reaches down and hands out paddles to the other men. Without delay, the men splash the paddles into the fetid sewer water and start paddling. This stirs up some action. A mosquito takes wing near you and flaps into the air. With a well-practiced suddenness, you leap into the air, powered by those spring legs of yours. Your Pac-Man mouth yawns open, and with one skilled gulp, down goes the mosquito. It's not much of a meal, but it's a nice light snack. With a tiny splash, you land in the sewer water just before the lead Zodiac glides past. The trailing Zodiac with all the stolen loot glides over the top of you before you resurface. When you finally resurface, you look to see if the men are gone. The sewer is once again dark, mired in shadow, but you can still make out the back of the men as they paddle to freedom. A bit curious, you swim after them. Perhaps they'll scare up another free lunch. After about 10 blocks of swimming, the men stop paddling. There's a rope ladder dangling down the side of the sewer. The men use their paddles to slow the Zodiacs. The men use a pulley system to load the heavy bags of stolen loot up to the open manhole above. A soft column of reflected and refracted light illuminates the sewer. Once the bags are all loaded up into the van parked above the manhole, you watch as the 5 men, one after the other, climbs up the rope ladder. The last man pulls the ladder up behind him. The manhole cover is slid back into position. The shaft of light disappears. All is dark and quiet yet again in the sewer. It's just you and the abandoned Zodiac boats. They continue to float, pushed along by the current that runs on to the beach. You turn and plop back down into the sewer water. There you go, Elizabeth.
Amazing.
Boom. They had done it. That's how the bank robbers made their daring escape.
That's so genius.
Right? He had a plan for the failure.
Everything. He thinks of everything.
So meanwhile, after their full day of negotiations, the hostage releases, the pizza order, followed by 3 hours of radio silence and a bunch of pizza left to go cold, the police in the command center decided it was time to bust in and see what's up with these bank robbers.
And you know they're so nervous about this. Like,
yes.
What are we going to find?
Well, they've had problems in the past with like shootouts and hostages, and so they were worried about a repeat. And like also they're worried maybe they killed all the hostages in some desperate political move and it'll make their bosses look bad. Like it's a lot of worries.
Yeah.
A team of militarized special force police officers assemble. And the team, they go over their breach plans. They didn't dare want to risk any of the hostages, right? Because as I said, that had happened in the past. So at 7 p.m., the police bust through the doors. They enter the bank. They expect a response, like perhaps a shootout. There's nothing. No response. The police, they look for the hostages. They locate the hostages. No one's hurt. But they're in 3 different groups on 3 different floors of the bank. As I said, none of them are hurt. So that's good, right? The police now, they search for the bank for the heist team. They're like, well, where are these guys?
Yeah.
We got all this pizza. So they check all the floors. They find nada. Down in the bank's vault, they find the emptied security deposit boxes. They're like, ooh, snap. 143 punched open.
100, ooh.
The score is likely huge, right? But no one knows for sure because, as we've said in the past, sometimes people won't say what was in there.
Exactly.
Now, what the cops did know for sure, but there was absolutely no signs of the bank robbers. I mean, nada. The bank had 2 exits. The cops had both of them under watch the entire time. So the banks had windows, none of which had been opened or broken. There was no clear, evident way for how the thieves escaped. The cops double-check the hostages. They're like, oh, I bet that's where they're hiding. They're hiding in the crowd. So maybe the bank robbers, right? Nope. They pull off some magic trick, apparently, and just disappeared. So the only real clues that the cops find is just a pile of toy guns and a note tacked up on the wall. The handwritten note reads, "In a neighborhood of rich people, without weapons or grudges, it's just money, not love."
Oh my God, I love these.
That's all the cops have to go on. This little phrase of poetry and some toy guns. To say that the cops were embarrassed is an understatement.
Yeah.
And it's all on national TV at the same, but being aired live, and they come out empty-handed, like, we don't know. Everyone's expecting this like culminating end of
they've got to focus on the hostages are all alive.
Exactly.
Yay!
Like, we saved everybody.
Woo!
Like, we saved everybody.
Yeah, don't come in here, guys. You don't want to see what's in here.
So
nothing.
The heist crew, meanwhile, had made it safely back to their crime lair, and they were their underground Teenage Mutant Ninja dojo.
Yeah.
And they were watching the news of the bank robbery as they ate, you guessed it, pizza, and they celebrated their success, right? They'd done it. Most importantly, they gotten away with it without leaving a single clue.
Yeah.
The next day, the engineer, he took all the stolen credit cards that they'd pulled from the bank job, and he sprinkled them around the city. This was to create a false trail for the police to follow, because every time some kid or street punk used one of the stolen cards, the police send out an investigative team. Right. This muddies the waters.
Who's keeping credit cards in their safe deposit box?
I'm thinking he took them from the hostages. Oh. They didn't find that never made clear in the news stories, but I'm guessing
he
took them from the
all
hostages.
Their wallets, yeah.
So meanwhile, the Argentine press, they report on this story, and then they're loving it. It's such an embarrassment, and it's these great ratings grabbers. The news was that the heist crew walked off with an estimated $20 million in cash and jewels and other valuables.
God.
Quite the haul. They pulled from the rich, so most of the Argentine people had just come through this crazy monetary collapse, so they don't feel bad about the victims. It wasn't that they went and raided a local bank.
Yeah.
It was from a really nice part of town, so they're oh, well, they can afford to lose it.
Sure.
Nobody got shot. So they become these folk heroes. Amazing. Right? And it seems like they're going to get away with it. The police have no leads. They even admit it. We got zilch. Right? And it sure seems like the mastermind, the engineer, they had done it. They pulled off a perfect heist, Elizabeth. We never talk about this. Their Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Donatello project worked brilliantly. Cowabunga, dude. Now, you may be asking yourself, but Zaron, then why are they on this show?
Yeah, did they just call you and tell you their story?
I heard from in the underground. Zaron, you should tell this story. It's the one time where we got away, man.
At your bad boy robber guy meeting?
Exactly, right.
They were the featured speakers.
My turn to bring sliced oranges.
They were the keynote speakers.
They were. We all wanted to hear, somebody did it right. So the issue is, by the way, great question, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
You eventually see that they did get caught. And how it all came undone was 100% ridiculous.
Oh,
do you remember what I said up top? I said something, if you're on a heist crew, so is your romantic partner.
Oh, right.
You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
So the bank robber, nicknamed Beto, he had a wife. Yeah. Trouble was, he also had a girlfriend. And after he made a big score, it wasn't his wife who he planned to run away with. Instead, he selected his girlfriend. Trouble was, his wife knew it. Furthermore, she knew all about the bank job and the heist crew. His other big mistake was he showed her his take. So when he discovered some of it missing, he accused her of stealing from him. Now she's got evidence that can place him at the crime.
Oh my God.
Which is just also a tad ironic that he's mad that someone stole from him. But
that's just the whole thing.
She denies it. She says, it wasn't me, baby. I don't know what you're talking about. It must have been one of the kids or whatever. I don't know what she says, right?
Yeah.
The couple, they fight. After that, he's I don't know how bad it was, but they fight. And after that, he left her in a position where she was looking for some kind of revenge.
Yeah.
And she knows he's going to leave her. So 5 weeks after the bank job goes down, Beto's driving around with his girlfriend in the car, and he sees police lights in his rearview mirror. He didn't run. He didn't slam it, tear off. No, he pulls over. And that was all she wrote, Elizabeth.
Maybe he started the fight with her and accused her, falsely accused her in order to have cover of we're fighting, now I'm walking out, and then he has the girlfriend.
Yeah, no, it didn't work. She knew everything.
That's incredible.
Yeah, his wife, Alicia Di Trulio, had turned him into the police to get her revenge. She told the police what her husband was driving, where they could find him. Boom, first of the crew to get busted.
Oh, my God.
But not only that, she knew the names of the rest of the crew.
Stop.
She ID'd the getaway driver, Zela Chavarria, and she ID'd the man in the gray suit. She also ID'd the mastermind and the engineer, all of them. The reason why she knew all this was they had come to her husband's garage to prep their getaway van.
How? If you're going to tell someone all about this, you got to cut them in.
Right?
At a minimum.
She's on the heist team.
Otherwise,
if she knows the heist team, she's on the heist team.
She has no reason to be loyal
Exactly.
at this point.
And she's not getting a piece. So the only ones she hadn't met were Doc and Luis the Uruguayan, which is why we don't know Luis's last name.
Yes.
Or Doc's, because
slippery.
they stayed
got
out.
away.
Yes,
God,
they get away. They're never caught. But when the police came for Zalo Echeverria, he saw them coming just the same. He had that unmistakable feeling folks were watching him, that creepy sensation.
Yeah.
But these cops were mean mugging him. They were literally staring him down, right? And he ignored the feeling of like, I feel like I'm prey. He ignores that feeling. He climbs into his car and he's like, this is probably not me, and drove away. And then he was stopped at the end of the block. Just like in Heat. It's like,
exactly.
So the others, which they would have known from the Michael Mann movies, but whatever. So the others from the heist crew, they all get caught with similar ease. I won't get into all the details, but when they were busted, the heist crew, they didn't have most of the stolen loot. The cops were like, where is it? And they're like, hey, no one's, I don't know. As Beto put it, when they arrested me, I got a big knock on my head. I can't remember. Exactly. Now, if you also ask Beto about his wife snitching on him and the rest of the heist crew, interestingly, he doesn't blame himself. Instead, he says, I will always be angry for the rest of my life. And I don't get the idea he's mad at himself.
Yeah. No,
anyway,
he doesn't do anything wrong.
No, of course. He was doing it for love, Elizabeth. How can that be wrong?
That's right.
So
the
love is
Beto.
never wrong. So anyway, the man in the gray suit, Luis Vitete, he was also caught, busted, tried, convicted, the whole bit, sentenced to prison. But then his lawyers got him released thanks to this legal loophole. Since he wasn't an Argentine, he was eligible to have his sentence cut in half if he promised to leave Argentina and never come back.
Oh, wow.
That's their rule. He's like, of course, I'm down.
Sure, I'll go home.
The one-time Spider-Man of Buenos Aires bounced back and he took off. He did 4 years of prisons and went back to Uruguay or somewhere else outside of Argentina.
Yeah.
Now, what about the mastermind?
Yes.
Well, good question, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
After he was busted, he kept his mouth shut and he did his time in prison. And now that he's out, paid his debt to society, he's free to brag about his masterpiece, which he does often.
Oh, wow.
There's books, movies, the whole bit.
Yeah.
As he told GQ magazine in an interview, great works of history, exactly who made them. Not by the name on the side, but by the artwork itself. And now he is satisfied that his great work is known to be done by him.
It's great work.
So, yes, exactly.
Wow, they came so close.
Yeah, but they never got the money. So they also got away with the money.
True.
They just had to do some time for one of the guys deciding to do the absolute dumbest possible thing when they all got away with it.
Yeah,
So what's our ridiculous takeaway here, Elizabeth?
Oh, man. You come up with this notion, okay, I got 5 guys I'm going to bring in, and everyone's got a Beto.
Yes.
Who's good at it, but also the weakest link.
Yeah.
And likely
lacking impulse control.
Yes. Yeah. And just doesn't think
just
things
not loyal
through.
In the way that one would want to be loyal.
Yeah, exactly.
He's loyal to himself.
So
He's
be
loyal
careful
to Beto.
of those. If you're assembling a heist crew, be careful of those. Zaron's, what's your ridiculous takeaway?
Thank you for asking me,
Feels
Elizabeth.
good, right?
Totally. I'm
Try
shocked,
it sometime.
surprised. I barely have one. Mine is, if you're going to name your secret project after a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, why not Michelangelo? I know Donatello's probably his favorite, and he's like, oh, that's one. But I was like, dude, you got to go Michelangelo because Sistine Chapel, that's the great work. Go with the biggest master piece.
True.
Go with the biggest great artist.
Yeah, I don't know what the other ones are named.
Raphael, Donatello, Michelangelo, and
Guido.
And Guido, yes.
Yeah.
So that's all I got for you.
Yes, that's excellent. Thank you.
You're in the mood for a talk back?
Oh, yeah, I am.
Producer D, can you wash this all down with a delicious talk bag?
Talk bags. Oh my God, did he just say that?
OMG.
Hey, Producer Dave, Zaron, and Elizabeth. You know what's ridiculous? I've been listening to you guys since day one, and I'm just now realizing if you take the first initial from all of your names, it's D's, as in D's nuts. Keep doing the great job that you're doing. Thank you so much for the entertainment and the laughs and just getting me by on a daily basis.
You're very, very welcome.
It's always our pleasure. We do D's for you.
Thank you for pointing D's out. I appreciate that.
As always, you can find us online at Ridiculous Crime on social media. We have our Ridiculous Crime pod on YouTube. Go check that out. It's got it's cool animation and stuff.
It's got a pod.
Totally podded up. And we have our award-winning website, ridiculouscrime.com. Big news, website just beat its 10-year Lipper average. So, yeah.
Wow.
And as you know.
No way.
Yeah.
I'm hearing this for the first time.
You excited, huh?
I'm so excited right
10-year
now.
Lipper average. We love your talkbacks. Please go to the iHeart app, download it, leave us a talkback. Maybe you'll hear your voice here. We want to hear it. And email us if you'd like at ridiculouscrime@gmail.com. We'd like to hear from you there as well. So please start at Dear Producer D and tell us a funny tale. Thanks for listening. We will catch you next. Bye. Ridiculous Crime is hosted by Elizabeth Dutton and Zaron Burnett. Produced and edited by the indigenous Donkey Kong frog of Rhode Island, Dave Kustin. And starring Annalise Rucker as Judith. Research is by Spanish-language crime enthusiast Marissa Brown. Our theme song is by Teenage Mutant Ninja musicians Thomas Lee and Travis Dutton. The host wardrobe provided by Botany 500. Guest hair and makeup by Sparkleshot and Mr. Andre. Executive producers are Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle truthers Ben Bolin and Noel Brown.
Ridiculous crime.
Say it one more time.
Ridiculous crime.
Ridiculous Crime is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.